Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning to you and good morning to our witnesses. I very much appreciate your talking about what the Coast Guard was able to do during the 3 hurricanes that impacted the United States. I'll forego the opportunity to go into that in more detail, except to thank the Coast Guard for an extraordinary piece of work and look to their needs as they rebuild their facilities. The calamity affecting the island of Puerto Rico after the devastation unleashed by Hurricane Maria is simply astounding, both in its scale and magnitude. Just think about it. Across the island, trees uprooted, roads impassable, houses blown apart as if hit by bombs, safe drinking water and sanitation unavailable, threatening to create a public health crisis. The entire electrical grid smashed, rendering what had been a tropical oasis into a dark, dangerous, and very foreboding place, especially for children and the elderly. Our hearts go out to the people of Puerto Rico as they endure the after effects of this unprecedented disaster. And our message to them is that you have not and you will not be forgotten. There's been a lot of misinformation, especially about the Jones Act, and it continues to float around in the media. This hearing provides a timely and valuable opportunity to set the record straight. Generally, media reports of the federal response to this disaster paint a picture of a response scenario that has been too slow, too uncoordinated, and too ineffective. Yet there has been one aspect of the federal response that has responded with efficiency and dispatch, although it would be very hard to tell that by the narrative spun by the media and by critics of the Jones Act. The response of the U.S. Merchant Marine and the fleet of U.S. Jones Act carriers has been nothing short of superb. These domestic carriers immediately rerouted and assigned additional vessels to carry emergency supplies, food, fuel, water, medical supplies, and building materials to Puerto Rico in its time of greatest need. Within 3 days after Hurricane Maria's arrival, these Jones Act carriers had their terminals operational and awaiting deliveries from the U.S. mainland. This laudable service has somehow gone unnoticed, as thousands of containers delivered thus far remain sitting on the docks, awaiting transportation to areas of need on the island. It's a vexing challenge, as many of the island's roads remain impassable. Fuel remains scarce, and drivers and trucks are in very short supply. Critics of the Jones Act nonetheless use this scenario to call for the administration to waive the Jones Act, to allow more vessels, foreign flagged in this case, to come to Puerto Rico's aid. Regrettably, and contrary to the achievements of its own Department of Transportation, the President yielded to the political pressure and granted a 10-day waiver. What remains clear, however, is that more vessels delivering more supplies without any improvement of the island's surface transportation infrastructure will do little to improve the recovery effort on the island. In fact, it may create even greater congestion and confusion, which regrettably will only add to the misery of United States citizens and others on the island. Before anyone heeds any new unwarranted calls to extend the Jones Act or to do away with it, we first need to understand better the reality of what is happening on the island. I look forward to this morning's discussion and stand ready to assist the people of Puerto Rico as they recover from this disaster. I also look forward to hearing now from the Coast Guard as to its infrastructure needs, both before and after the 3 hurricanes. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank the ranking member.